the bustling village of Hidden Leaf, where life moves at a frenetic pace and every moment feels like a battle. There's an unspoken shadow that lingers beneath the surface. Why is it that many ninjas from this vibrant community find themselves wrestling with intimacy later in life? Amidst the camaraderie and shared sacrifices, one might wonder if there are deeper currents at play. Could it be that the rigorous training and relentless demands of their ninja duties leave little room for vulnerability and connection? Perhaps it starts with the early conditioning to suppress emotions and focus solely on survival. We often hear stories of ninjas who excel in combat but falter when faced with tender moments, revealing a chasm between heart and mind. Imagine a world where every day is a test of strength and endurance, and your closest allies are seen as potential threats. How does such an environment shape the way we see ourselves and our relationships? The question then arises, can these deeply ingrained habits be overcome to find true connection and love? Is it possible for a ninja to unlearn years of emotional restraint and discover the beauty of intimacy? As we delve into this topic, let's consider the quiet reasons why Hidden Leaf ninjas might carry a burden that affects their most intimate moments. We'll explore how early experiences mold their perspectives on trust and affection. Perhaps by understanding these challenges, we can begin to see pathways towards healing and deeper connections.
So as we journey through this exploration, remember, every ninja story holds the potential for transformation. Can you relate to any of these struggles? Do you know a Hidden Leaf ninja who has navigated this path with grace? Join us in uncovering the quiet reasons behind this intriguing phenomenon. Together, let's illuminate the shadows and find the light within. Imagine standing on the edge of the Hidden Leaf village, watching as the sun sets behind the treetops. The village bustles with life, yet there's an underlying tension, a sense that every moment matters. Each day, you wake up to a world where shadows hold secrets and allies are also enemies in disguise. Every step you take could be your last. It's a life lived on high alert. Training begins before dawn, and the days blur together with drills and missions. You learn to move like water, flowing through gaps too small for others. Each cut on your skin is a lesson, each bruise a badge of honor. Yet beneath this armor, there's a quiet longing. As you patrol the border or sit in silence during brief moments off duty, you find yourself wondering about what it means to truly live. The bond with fellow ninjas is deep and complex. They are your family, comrades, and sometimes your only companions. There's an unspoken understanding that each day might be their last, making every interaction charged with a mix of urgency and reverence.
In the midst of this intensity, moments of joy feel like rare gifts. Celebrating victories, small and large, sharing meals around campfires, or simply sitting in silence together. All these are fleeting glimpses of what life could be beyond the walls of the Hidden Leaf village. But there's also a constant awareness that every choice has consequences. The line between right and wrong can blur when survival is at stake. It's this ambiguity that shapes your sense of morality. As nightfall, you return to your quarters, weary but never truly alone. Your mind replays the day's events over and over, each detail etched into memory. Rest comes fitfully, haunted by dreams of battle or betrayal. This life is about more than just surviving, it's about enduring. Each ninja carries their own weight of responsibility and loss, shaping them in ways that outsiders might never understand. And so, when the time finally comes to step away from this world, there's a part of you that stays behind, forever connected to the people and places of Hidden Leaf. In such an environment, it's no surprise that forming deep personal connections later in life can feel like learning an entirely new language. The skills honed for survival don't always translate into the nuances of intimacy, but there are moments when a glimpse of another way becomes possible. Perhaps it's through a chance encounter with someone who sees beyond your scars, or perhaps it's finding solace in a quiet conversation with a fellow veteran ninja. These rare connections remind you that even the most isolated hearts can yearn for understanding and connection. It's a journey from isolation to community, one step at a time. In Hidden Leaf Village, every ninja learns to suppress the emotions from a young age. They are taught that showing weakness is unacceptable on the battlefield and elsewhere. This early conditioning teaches ninjas to hide their true feelings behind masks of stoicism. As they grow older, these habits can seep into personal relationships too. Imagine carrying around all your emotional burdens alone, never sharing them with anyone. The weight of such unspoken pain can be heavy, making it hard to let others in deeply. Even when trying to connect, those old patterns may prevent you from truly opening up. How many times have you held back a secret heartache for fear of burdening someone else? These walls we build are protective but also isolating. As intimacy requires vulnerability and trust, the silent warrior's shield can stand as an obstacle. In later years, when ninjas seek deep connections, these barriers can feel insurmountable. How do you share your inner world with another person when you've spent a lifetime holding it back? The challenge then becomes learning to shed those layers of emotional armor one by one. It's about rediscovering how to express and experience emotions openly again. This journey might be slow, but each step towards vulnerability brings greater depth in relationships. Can we find the courage to let down our guard just enough to truly connect with another? In Hidden Leaf Village, as elsewhere, this is the quiet struggle many face later on. Imagine a village hidden within the shadows, where the faces you see every day are those of your closest comrades. In Hidden Leaf Village, our ninja grow up together, fight side by side, and bear witness to each other's triumphs and tragedies. But when it comes time for them to form connections outside their bonds of duty, many find themselves at a loss. Take Kunai Yui, who once trained under Asuma Sarutobi. His father's shadow loomed large over her heart. After his death in battle, Kunai turned inward, seeking comfort within the familiar walls of Hidden Leaf. Yet as years passed and she found herself alone, she began to realize that while camaraderie was strong among the ninja, true intimacy was harder to come by. Why is this? What makes it so difficult for our warriors to open up when they step out from under their masks? Perhaps it's the weight of carrying a village on their shoulders that leaves little room for personal connections. Or maybe it's just too easy to hide behind a facade of strength, never showing vulnerability. One night, Kurenai sat by the river where Asuna had once taught her chakra control techniques. The moonlight cast long shadows over the water. She thought back on all the times they trained together, laughed, and even argued fiercely. But then she remembered the nights when he was silent, lost in his own thoughts. It's a quiet reason why Kurenai struggles with intimacy today.
Holding on to those memories is both solace and sorrow. They're like whispers in the wind.
Never fully grasped, but always lingering around her heart. Now imagine another ninja, Shikamaru Nara. Known for his brilliant strategies and laid-back nature, he too finds himself grappling with the same questions. What does it mean to truly connect when you've been taught from a young age that duty comes first? Shikamaru once confided in Tamari of Sand about feeling adrift in life. Sometimes, he said, looking up at the stars, I wonder if I'm just playing the role everyone expects me to play. It's not easy being who they expected to be all the time. Shikamaru's reflections lead him down paths less traveled by his fellow ninja. He wonders what it would feel like to let someone see all sides of himself, including those parts he's afraid might disappoint. In Hidden Leaf Village, every shadow tells a story. And these stories speak not just of battles fought, but also of hearts yearning for more than just camaraderie. What does it take to truly open up when you've grown used to guarding your soul? For Kurenai and Shikamaru and many others like them, the journey toward true intimacy is as much about shedding old skins as it is embracing new ones. It's a quiet struggle, one that ripples beneath the surface of daily life in Hidden Leaf. Each step they take towards understanding themselves better brings both pain and hope. In their silence lies the courage to speak out loud someday. And so we wonder alongside them, what will it take for these ninja warriors to find the love and connection they've been searching for all along?
War is like an open wound that never fully heals. In the Hidden Leaf Village, we've seen more than our fair share of battles and losses. Each life taken leaves a mark on those who survive. Imagine standing amidst the chaos, your senses heightened to extremes. The air thick with smoke and the cries of the fallen. Every breath is filled with tension and fear. It's overwhelming. In such moments, you can't afford to feel anything but adrenaline and determination. Emotions get pushed aside, locked away in a place that seems unreachable later on. When the fighting stops, there's a silence that feels almost louder than the war itself. Afterwards, it's hard to connect with others when your mind is still running battle simulations at night. You find yourself retreating into solitude rather than reaching out for comfort or closeness. These walls we build during conflict become our protection, shielding us from pain but also love and intimacy. What does peace even mean after experiencing such intense hardship? It's like trying to explain color to someone who has never seen daylight. The contrast is stark, the transition unsettling. Naruto once said, even if a person experiences war and death, as long as they believe in friendship and happiness, that person will be able to create peace. But what happens when that belief falters? When the scars of conflict become too deep for simple faith to heal? The emotional landscape of a ninja is complex. We carry more than just weapons and tools into battle. We take on the weight of every encounter. It's not about forgetting, but rather learning how to live with the memories without being consumed by them. How do you rebuild trust and openness when your very survival was built on suspicion and vigilance? This question haunts many veterans as they navigate civilian life post-war. The impact of war is profound, shaping not just our actions in battle, but also our choices in love. It's a silent struggle that continues long after the last enemy has fallen. In Hidden Leaf, our ninjas face countless dangers and challenges that test their resolve every day. Yet there's another kind of battle happening behind closed doors. A silent struggle with the memories of trauma. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks for years. Each rock is a painful memory, or a moment of fear, weighing you down more and more until it feels impossible to move forward. For our ninjas, those memories are like that backpack. When you're young, your heart is wide open, ready to love without reservation. But what happens when the world tries to close that door? When every step outside becomes a gamble with fear? The village protects its own in many ways, but sometimes it leaves invisible scars behind. These aren't physical wounds that heal over time, they're deeper than that. Think of a tree that has lost branches in a storm. It's still standing, green and full of life, but there are gaps where the wind can blow right through. Our ninjas are like those trees, standing tall yet feeling exposed beneath their outer strength. Each mission, each fight, adds another layer to the burden they carry. Over time, it becomes harder not just physically, but emotionally as well. How do you find comfort in someone else's arms when your own heart feels hollow and cold? How can you trust them with your deepest fears if those fears have come to define who you are? There are whispers around town of broken marriages, estranged lovers, and hearts left behind. The ninja way demands secrecy and isolation at times, which only compounds the loneliness. But there's a whisper growing louder now. A voice say it's okay to lay down that backpack, even if just for a moment.
It's about finding the courage to be vulnerable again. For those who can face their past, there might be hope in healing old wounds and embracing new ones. For them, intimacy isn't something to fear, but a path toward reclaiming their humanity. It's an ongoing journey, one that demands patience and understanding from both the ninjas themselves and those around them. The road ahead is long, but the first step towards peace can start with taking off just one rock at a time. Would you let someone help you carry your load today?
Imagine a village where every day is filled with the noise of training, the laughter of camaraderie, and the occasional clash of blades. Yet, amidst all this activity, there's an unspoken rule that whispers through the air. Emotions are to be kept private. In Hidden Leaf Village, we're taught from a young age to prioritize our duties above personal feelings. Each mission, no matter how small, is seen as part of something greater than ourselves, a narrative that binds us together in service and sacrifice. But what does this constant focus of the collective mean for our individual lives? Is it possible that by learning to suppress our emotions early on, we're setting ourselves up for struggles later? Consider the way we greet each other, casual nods or brief smiles. There's a comfort in these familiar interactions, but are they enough to truly connect with others on an emotional level? Each time we hold back from sharing a deeper part of ourselves, do we risk becoming strangers to those around us? The traditions that shape our lives are powerful forces. They can offer guidance and strength, and sometimes they also impose constraints. Could it be that the very essence of what makes Hidden Leaf special, duty, the discipline, also hides beneath its surface a quiet expectation to hide behind masks? And so, we navigate through life with these unspoken rules guiding our steps. We're warriors trained to face external threats, yet perhaps we need just as much training to understand and embrace our internal landscapes. As we move forward in this journey of self-discovery, let's not forget that breaking free from emotional repression isn't about abandoning tradition. It's about finding new ways to honor it while nurturing the parts of us that long for deeper connections. How do you think Hidden Leaf's culture influences the way its people approach intimacy? Can we find a balance between our duty and our hearts? Let's keep asking these questions, because within them lies the key to unlocking richer, more fulfilling relationships both inside and outside the village walls. In Hidden Leaf Village, many ninja face challenges when it comes to forming deep connections with others. These struggles often stem from a reluctance to express their feelings openly. Imagine the life of a shinobi, constant training, missions that test both body and mind, and the ever-present threat of danger. In such an environment, emotions can feel like a luxury one can't afford. Consider this. When we suppress our feelings, do they really disappear? Or do they fester inside us, growing into burdensome weights? In intimate relationships, these hidden emotions become barriers. They prevent us from truly seeing and being seen by the people who care about us most. Think of it like a well that's never been cleaned out. Over time, sediment builds up at the bottom until no fresh water can flow in or out.
Emotional expression is not just about talking more. It's about opening yourself to vulnerability. It's allowing others to see the parts of you that might be flawed or imperfect. But isn't vulnerability also a form of strength? When we share our deepest fears and desires, we create space for others to do the same. We build trust and intimacy through mutual understanding. Consider the bond between teammates like Naruto and Sakura. Their relationship thrives because they support each other emotionally as much as physically.
So why is it so hard for ninja to embrace this aspect of themselves? Perhaps it's a fear of being hurt or rejected. Or maybe it's the belief that showing weakness makes you less capable.
But what if we reframe our understanding of emotions? What if we see them not just as vulnerabilities, but also as sources of strength?
In Hidden Leaf, we train to master physical techniques and strategies for battle. But emotional mastery is equally important.
It allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, creating bonds that endure even in the toughest circumstances. Can you imagine what it would be like if everyone in our village embraced this idea? How different might life feel then? It's a journey of self-discovery and courage. Each step towards emotional expression is a step closer to forming genuine connections.
So next time you find yourself holding back, ask yourself, what am I afraid of letting out? And who might be that to catch it? Emotional expression isn't easy, but it's essential for nurturing the relationships that make life truly worth living. To truly grasp why the ninja of Hidden Leaf may struggle with intimacy later in life, we must delve into their history. Hidden Leaf Village was built on a foundation of resilience and sacrifice. From its earliest days, it faced threats that tested the very fabric of its existence. The village's survival relied on the strength and secrecy of its shinobi. Every mission required them to suppress emotions and focus solely on duty. Over time, this became part of their identity. Emotional expression was seen as a weakness in a world of constant danger. We must consider how generations of ninja were raised with this mindset. From childhood, they learned to prioritize the village over personal desires. The cycle continued as these shinobi grew up and began training the next generation. The lessons of emotional restraint became ingrained in Hidden Leaf culture.
Can you imagine growing up knowing that showing vulnerability could endanger your life? How does such a reality shape one's understanding of love and connection? Each ninja carried their burdens silently, hoping to protect those they cared about by not burdening them with personal pain. This silent pact created an invisible barrier between people in Hidden Leaf. Even close friends and family might never fully understand each other's inner struggles. The weight of this legacy affects the shinobi long after their days as active ninja have passed. Carrying such secrets for a lifetime can leave deep scars on the soul. Understanding this historical context is crucial if we wish to address the emotional challenges faced by Hidden Leaf villagers today. It invites us to consider how the village might begin healing from generations of silent suffering, and what it means to break free from old patterns. Hidden Leaf's story reminds us that sometimes, overcoming past traumas requires revisiting painful chapters in our history first. In Hidden Leaf Village, camaraderie is more than just friendship. It's a cornerstone of survival and strength. The ties that bind ninjas together are forged in the crucible of battle and shared pain. Each mission, each victory or loss, deepens these connections. Outside this world, relationships can feel pale by comparison. Intimacy demands vulnerability, but the walls built to protect comrades often extend inward. These bonds were never meant for the quiet moments of life.
In the heat of conflict, they are a shield and a sword. But in the cool shadow of twilight, they become a barrier. The village teaches us to prioritize mission over marriage, to place duty before desire. When you return home from war, do you find peace, or do you carry the scars of battles fought within your heart? In the corridors of the Ninja Academy, young minds are molded. They learn to rely on each other for everything. From meals to missions, companionship is a constant presence. As they grow older, these ties become more complex. The line between friend and lover blurs. Bound by duty, they struggle to let another in. It's not just about trust, it's about the fear of failure. To open up fully means risking everything. These are the warriors who defend their village with every breath. How can anyone else truly understand? In the shadows of night when the world is quiet, do these ninjas whisper secrets to themselves, or do they simply keep them hidden, safe from harm? The bonds that save them may be the same ones that isolate them. It's a paradox at the heart of their existence. To live fully in two worlds demands sacrifice. One foot in each realm, but never wholly belonging to either. And so the question remains, can love ever compete with the brotherhood forged in the battlefield? Or is it destined to remain a shadow, cast by the light of camaraderie? In the hidden village of Leaf, where ninja are trained since childhood in silence and secrecy, there's an unspoken pain that grows with each mission. You see, our heroes learn to carry burdens alone, bottling up emotions as they mature into elite warriors. But what happens when these walls become too thick? How do you open up when trust has been your greatest weapon all along? And in a world where vulnerability means weakness, how do you dare to let someone in? In the art of battle, it's survival first. There's no time for tears or fears to show. You learn that feelings are weaknesses to be hidden away. But what happens behind closed doors is another story. The quiet struggles start to surface as they try to find love and connection. Intimacy becomes a minefield of old habits and unspoken fears. They wonder, can I really let someone know who I truly am? Can anyone handle the weight of my secrets? These questions haunt them like shadows on a moonless night. The past is never far away when it comes to sharing your heart. It's as if each moment of joy or closeness brings up the ghosts of battles lost and comrades fallen. And so, they stand at crossroads where silence meets solitude, trapped between their duty and their desire for human connection. This struggle is more than just about trust, it's about finding a new way to live, to let down shields that once kept them safe. To learn the art of opening up again, after years of keeping silent. It's a journey of unlearning old ways, and embracing the courage to be vulnerable. In this quiet battle, our heroes fight not with swords, but with their hearts.
In Hidden Leaf Village, the air is thick with the whispers of past battles and silent victories.
The path to becoming a ninja demands an unwavering commitment to strength,
and resilience.
But what does it mean when that same strength begins to feel like a heavy cloak, a burden that muffles the softer edges of vulnerability?
Consider this. In times of danger, our bodies know exactly how to respond. Hearts race, muscles tense, senses sharpen. This is the fire within, the fierce warrior we become to protect and defend.
Yet when it comes to sharing our deepest fears or dreams with another, a different kind of courage is required. It's not about striking down an enemy, but opening up to them.
And here lies the paradox. Why do those who are trained to be invincible struggle so much with vulnerability? Perhaps it starts as early as their first training day. The lessons of survival are carved into their skin, etched deep within their psyche. Every strike, every block becomes a testament to their strength and skill. But at what cost? When the village is safe and the war has ended, there remains an unspoken pact with oneself, a vow to always stay strong, no matter what.
So when night falls and shadows lengthen, it's only then that the softer questions arise. What lies beneath the armor? It's a dance between two worlds. The world of action where every challenge is met head-on, and the quieter realm of reflection, where every scar tells its story. And perhaps this is why intimacy becomes such a delicate art for those who have known nothing but combat. It demands that they see their partner as more than just another mission, more than just another obstacle to overcome. It asks them to let down their guard, not against the enemy, but in front of someone who sees them fully and completely. So here we are, standing at the crossroads between strength and vulnerability. Each step a balance act between what we've been taught and what our hearts long for. In Hidden Leaf Village, where every breath is taken with purpose, there's a quiet conversation happening beneath the surface. It's a dialogue about who we were trained to be versus who we aspire to become. And sometimes, that very dialogue is enough to start the healing process. So let us not forget, in all our fierce battles and grand victories, it's the ability to embrace vulnerability that truly defines our strength. Imagine sitting by a calm river, the water reflecting the quiet thoughts of your heart. The sun warms your skin as you ponder the complex layers of your life as a hidden leaf ninja.
Intimacy can feel like an enigma, wrapped in layers of duty and responsibility. We're trained to be strong, resilient, to keep our emotions locked away for the sake of mission success. But what happens when it's time to let those walls down? Have you ever found yourself standing at the edge of a conversation, your words unspoken? It feels like there's an invisible barrier between you and someone who matters deeply. The quiet reason behind this struggle is rooted in our training. We learn early on that being vulnerable can be a liability. The whispers of doubt linger even when we're off duty. In moments where love should thrive but instead feels stifled. Can you remember the first time you realized your heart was guarded? Perhaps it was a subtle realization, like noticing the cracks in an old wall before they become obvious to everyone else. Each mission teaches us resilience, but it also teaches us to guard our hearts. The fear of opening up completely is a shadow that follows many hidden leaf ninjas into their personal lives. In the quiet moments, we ask ourselves if these walls truly protect us or hold us back from the warmth and connection we crave. It's like carrying an unlit candle through dark nights. You know it has the power to light your path, but fear keeps you from striking a match. Reflect on the times when you felt this way. Can you trace back where these walls began? For me, it was a mission gone wrong, where I had no choice to hide my true feelings for the sake of survival.
As we navigate our personal journeys, each ninja faces these challenges differently. Some find ways to slowly chip away at the defenses, while others struggle silently. In those quiet moments by the river, ask yourself, is it worth the risk to light your candle? To let someone else see the true you? Embrace the discomfort of vulnerability. It's a step towards finding deeper connections in life. Remember that every ninja is a story waiting to unfold, but let this reflection be a gentle nudge to start chipping away at those walls, one thoughtful conversation at a time. Imagine standing at the edge of a deep, serene lake. The water is calm and mirrors the sky above, but beneath the surface is an undercurrent that whispers secrets from a distant past. This undercurrent represents the emotions we bury deep within ourselves, hidden away like scrolls in a dusty attic. Over time, these buried feelings become heavy stones at the bottom of our heart's lake, weighing us down and making it harder to swim towards joy or connection. Think about it. How often do you push your worries into the shadows just to get through another day? We learn early on that showing vulnerability is a weakness in a ninja world. When we keep pushing those emotions aside, they don't go away, they just shift deeper underground.
As the years pass and life's demands grow louder, it becomes easier to forget about those buried feelings.
Yet, beneath our feet lies an intricate web of emotional connections that need attention. When we ignore them for too long, they can become tangled knots, choking off fresh air and new growth. You might find yourself wondering why old wounds still sting, even when the scar tissue is thick. Why do certain memories from childhood trigger a sudden flood of tears? It's because those buried emotions are trying to remind us that healing starts with acknowledging their presence. But how do we face these shadows without drowning in them? One step at a time, by allowing ourselves permission to feel, even if it feels overwhelming. Imagine slowly peeling back the layers, like unwrapping a gift wrapped tightly in many layers of paper. Each layer reveals something new and important about who you are. The cycle of emotional suppression is not just a pattern, it's a choice. Every day offers us another chance to rewrite this cycle, to choose openness over silence. But it's hard work. Much like breaking the surface of that deep lake requires strength and courage. So let's consider the question. Can we break free from this cycle? Yes, but it takes commitment, patience, and the willingness to face our shadows head on. It's about learning to listen deeply, to our hearts, to our bodies, and allowing space for healing. Remember, every ninja was once just a child, learning to navigate their world with the tools at hand. And every one of us can learn new ways to wield those emotional tools as we grow older and wiser. In Hidden Leaf Village or anywhere else in this vast world, it's never too late to start chipping away at that wall built from past hurts and fears. The journey towards emotional freedom is just beginning. Imagine a world where the Hidden Leaf Village had always embraced open, heartfelt conversations about feelings and emotions. What if every ninja grew up learning to express their vulnerabilities without fear of judgment or weakness? How would these practices change the dynamics within teams, making them not just strong in battle, but deeply connected as individuals?
Picture this. Instead of suppressing emotional pain after a mission gone wrong, ninjas share their fears, doubts, and sorrow. They build a support network that understands the weight they carry. Would such an environment foster relationships based on trust and intimacy rather than duty and camaraderie alone? Consider a scenario where love isn't just about missions completed together, but also about the shared understanding of inner turmoil. In this alternate reality, could ninjas truly open up to each other, forming bonds that transcend their ninja duties? What if they taught children in the Hidden Leaf Village to see emotions as strengths rather than weaknesses? Would these young ninjas grow into adults who naturally seek closeness and support from loved ones?
Imagine a life where expressing vulnerability isn't that accepted, celebrated. How might this shift impact not only personal relationships, but also the mental health of Hidden Leaf's most skilled warriors? If every ninja was encouraged to share their emotional burdens, could they find greater peace within themselves? Would this lead to stronger, more resilient individuals who are better equipped to handle life's challenges beyond just combat? In a place where emotions are embraced rather than suppressed, what kind of legacy would these ninjas leave behind? How would the next generation look back at a history filled with open hearts and brave conversations about pain and joy alike? In a world where strength is measured by the ability to face danger, it's easy to overlook the quieter aspects of our lives. The Hidden Leaf Village is filled with warriors who have faced countless battles, each one chipping away at their emotional reserves. Imagine being constantly on guard, never fully able to let your defenses down. How does that shape the way you approach relationships? It's as if every interaction becomes a test, an opportunity to be vulnerable and open, not or to remain vigilant and distant.
What do these ninjas truly yearn for in their hearts?
Is it just companionship or something more profound? They long for understanding. Someone who sees beyond the scars and knows what lies beneath the surface.
But how do you find that when you're used to hiding your true self behind a mask of bravado and strength?
Every time they try to connect, there's this moment of hesitation. A whisper in their mind asking if it's worth the risk. Yet deep down, they know. Connection is essential for growth. It's what keeps us human amid the chaos. So how do we bridge that gap? How do we help these warriors find peace within themselves and with others?
It begins with acknowledging the past and not letting it define the future.
Each step towards vulnerability is a step towards healing. Perhaps, in their quiet moments, they realize love isn't about proving strength or enduring pain. Instead, it's about sharing burdens, finding comfort in each other's presence, and embracing the beauty of being seen for who you truly are. This journey to intimacy is not just about opening up. It's about reclaiming parts of themselves that have been locked away in fear. As they navigate this path, every small victory feels like a triumph, a reminder that even the strongest warriors need soft places to land. And so, with each tender exchange and moment of trust, the Hidden Leaf Ninjas begin to weave a tapestry of love and understanding, a tapestry strong enough to hold both their strength and their vulnerabilities together. Now, how might your own journey be similar? Can you find that balance between courage and tenderness?
Perhaps in finding this balance, we all become stronger. Not just as individuals, but as a community. For it's only when we learn to embrace our whole selves, the scars and the smiles, that true intimacy becomes possible. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, quiet forest. The air is cool and crisp, and there's an eerie stillness that makes you pause. This silence is much like the moments when we feel hesitant to open up to someone completely. Why do we hesitate? It's because vulnerability feels risky. We're ninjas, after all, trained from birth to be strong, independent, and self-reliant. But in this hidden village, where secrets are as thick as the leaves on trees, there's something raw and real about sharing our deepest fears and dreams. So why is it so hard? Consider a moment when you've been tempted to hide behind your mask, to keep your emotions locked away like scrolls in a secret compartment. Perhaps it's because we believe that showing weakness will make us less desirable or loved. But let's think about what happens when someone does open up to you. They reveal the parts of themselves they usually keep hidden. Maybe their fears, their dreams, even old wounds.
When this happens, there's an intimacy that forms instantly. A bond deeper than any surface interaction. It's as if a window is opened in a dark room, letting light pour in for the first times.
The light might feel warm at first, and then perhaps a bit harsh, but it illuminates what was previously unseen.
This is the power of vulnerability.
It lights up spaces we usually keep dimly lit or completely obscured. And yet, there's always that fear that once you let someone see all of you, they might look away. But here's a thought. What if those who truly matter don't just stay, but lean in closer? What if revealing your vulnerabilities doesn't make them shrink from you, but rather draws them nearer? In the Hidden Village, there are whispers of ninja who found deep connections by daring to share their innermost thoughts and feelings. They've discovered that true intimacy isn't about being invincible or perfect. It's about being seen for all of your imperfections, flaws included. So next time you feel the urge to hide behind a facade, imagine peeling back layers like the leaves on an autumn tree, revealing what lies beneath. There's beauty in vulnerability. It shows our humanity and creates space for others to do the same. This is where true intimacy begins. Not with strength alone, but with courage enough to be seen as you truly are. In a village where strength is measured by outward resilience, it's easy to overlook the softer sides of life. What if our relentless drive for protection and unity comes at the cost of personal vulnerability? Consider the ninja who carries the weight of their missions alone, day after day. How do they share that burden with someone who isn't part of their world? Imagine a conversation where words are scarce, yet eyes speak volumes. Could it be that these silent dialogues tell us more about our true selves than any spoken word ever could? If we fear opening up because revealing pain means risking rejection, then how can we foster environments that embrace all parts of who we are? What if we start small, by simply acknowledging the silence within ourselves, taking a moment each day to listen to the quiet whispers of our hearts?
Could it be that in nurturing this inner dialogue, we begin to understand one another more deeply?
Perhaps in Hidden Leaf, the strength we seek lies not in overpowering our emotions, but in giving them space to breathe and find their voice. As we gently invite these hidden feelings into the light, we might just discover a newfound sense of connection and intimacy with those around us. But it's a journey that begins within each one of us.
How do you quiet your own storm to hear the echoes of your heart? In a world where actions speak louder than words, what does silence tell you about yourself?
In Hidden Leaf Village, the bonds formed among comrades are not just about missions and battles. They weave a deeper tapestry of understanding and shared experiences that go beyond the surface levels.
Imagine standing alongside your closest allies after a long night of vigilance or recovery from battle wounds. You see in their eyes an acknowledgement that speaks volumes without words. This sense of solidarity is like a quiet river, flowing beneath the surface of daily life. It provides a subtle, yet constant support that can be hard to articulate, that impossible to ignore. When faced with personal struggles, especially emotional ones, this community becomes a sanctuary. Think about it. How many times have you felt the weight of your burdens lighten just by being around those who know you best? They see past the mask and armor, recognizing the person beneath. This recognition is powerful because it allows for vulnerability without fear of judgment or rejection. But here's the catch. This kind of support doesn't come automatically. It requires effort to maintain connections in a world where every day can be unpredictable. It means making time for each other beyond the necessities of teamwork and duty. Remember Naruto struggling with his feelings after losing his best friend? He found solace not just in training, but in the quiet moments spent talking with Sakura or Kakashi. Those conversations, however brief, held immense value in grounding him emotionally. And it's these small gestures that can make all the difference when navigating complex emotions. Yet, even amidst such support, there are still layers of isolation. The nature of a ninja's work often isolates them from the everyday world.
So they must create their own islands of connection within this challenging landscape. These connections act as anchors, pulling them back to the shore of humanity whenever doubt or despair threatens to pull them away. Consider how Shikamaru once said he didn't want to become Hokage because it meant being alone at the top. This isn't about ambition, but rather the recognition that true strength lies in community. So while ninjas may struggle with intimacy later in life due to their experiences, the support found within the village can provide a foundation upon which they build trust and deeper relationships. It's through these interactions that walls begin to crumble, and hidden vulnerabilities start to see the light of day. In essence, it's not just about surviving the battles, it's about thriving after them. With each other as pillars of strength, ninjas can embark on a path toward healing and growth. And in this journey, they might find that some of their deepest connections were waiting just around the corner, ready to guide them through the shadows into the light. In the heart of Hidden Leaf Village, there lies an unspoken truth about our people. It's not just the scars from war that mark us. It's the culture itself, shaped by years of necessity and survival. Why is it so hard for us to open up? Why do we hide behind masks even when there's no enemy in sight?
Think about it. Our village is built on resilience, forged in the fires of conflict. We learn early that vulnerability can mean weakness, and weakness means danger.
But here's a thought. What if strength isn't just about surviving battles? What if true power lies in facing fears within ourselves? The walls we build around our hearts are meant to protect us, but they also isolate us from the warmth of human connection. We're trained to be warriors, ready for combat at any moment. Yet isn't it in moments of peace that we truly yearn for something more? A touch, a whisper, an open heart.
And so, as we move through life, carrying the burden of our past, we find ourselves asking,
How do we break down these walls?
In Hidden Leaf, every story is layered with secrets and silences. These aren't just personal struggles. They are cultural legacies handed down from generation to generation. Can we look back at those silent heroes who fought in the shadows? Could their stories offer us a path forward towards intimacy and healing? Each of us holds a piece of this puzzle, wrapped tightly within our own hearts and minds. To unravel it means confronting the ghosts of war and loneliness that haunt us daily. But what if by sharing these burdens, we find the strength to build something new? Something more than just survival, something beautiful and lasting. The journey towards openness begins with a single step, a breath held, a hand extended, an invitation whispered in the quiet moments when the village sleeps. Will you take that step?
In Hidden Leaf, finding love means first learning to trust again. It's about choosing connection over isolation, even if it feels like swimming against the current of our past.
So let's pause here for a moment and reflect on this.
What would it mean to truly open your heart in this place where we've all been taught to hide? It's not easy, but every story whispers that there might just be light at the end of the tunnel. As we reflect on our journey through the hidden village of Leaf, it's clear that the themes of isolation and emotional distance are pervasive. We've seen how the harsh training and constant threat of battle take a toll not just on the body, but also on the soul. Each ninja faces their own battles within themselves, trying to hold on to humanity in a world where survival is paramount. The memories of loss and the weight of responsibility create barriers that aren't easily broken. These walls are built as defenses, yet they often turn into obstacles when it comes to forming deep connections with others. In this quiet struggle for intimacy, we see the human side of these warriors who wear masks both literally and figuratively.
It's a reminder that behind every hero lies a person grappling with fears, hopes, and uncertainties just like anyone else. Each story is the thread in the tapestry of lives, weaving together moments of bravery and vulnerability. These threads sometimes tangle and fray, but they always hold the potential to be knitted back together into something stronger. As we consider the journey so far, it's clear that understanding these challenges isn't just about seeing them as obstacles. It's about recognizing the resilience and facing them head-on and seeking ways to bridge those gaps within ourselves. So let us pause for a moment and reflect on what this means for each of us listening. Are there walls we've built up in our own lives? And if so, how might we begin to break them down? It's not an easy path by any means, but it's one worth exploring. In the end, finding ways to be truly seen and heard is a quest shared by all who walk this world, whether they wear masks or not. So let us carry these thoughts with us as we move forward, seeking our own paths toward deeper connections and understanding. Imagine a morning in the hidden village, where sunlight filters through the leaves and dust dances in beams of light. Each ninja moves with purpose, but beneath their masks lies a world of unspoken emotions. How do we begin to weave emotional awareness into our daily routine? It's like planting seeds in barren soil, nurturing them with patience and care. Start small. Notice how your breath flows as you walk through the village streets. Feel the rhythm of your heart when you face off against an opponent in training. These moments, these tiny sparks of self-awareness are the building blocks of emotional integration. They teach us to listen to our inner worlds just as we learn to master our chakra. But why wait for a crisis? Why not invite these practices into every moment like sprinkling water on parched earth? In the quiet corners of your mind, you can find refuge from the chaos. Let go of rigid expectations and embrace the fluidity of emotions. It's about balance between strength and vulnerability, duty and personal growth. It's an invitation to see intimacy not as a weakness, but as a source of resilience. So what if we took a moment each day to reflect on our feelings, to acknowledge the silent cries within us, just like how we would check for injuries after battle? In time, these practices will ripple outwards, transforming how we connect with others. Our relationships, once guarded and distant, could bloom into something richer, more profound. Embrace this journey of self-discovery, one breath at a time. It's in the quiet moments that true healing begins. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast forest, where the trees stretch upwards towards the sky and the leaves rustle softly with each passing breeze. This place represents the Hidden Leaf Village,
A community that has faced countless battles and challenges together. Each leaf of these trees tells a story, a tale of bravery and sacrifice, of love and loss. As we walk deeper into this forest, let us consider the hidden paths and secrets held within its branches. What if we could peel back each layer of our village's history to uncover the roots of emotional hardship?
We start with understanding. First step towards healing any wound is acknowledging it openly. Let's speak about the young shinobi who return from missions bearing more than just physical scars. They carry invisible burdens that weigh heavily in their hearts and minds. These young warriors are like saplings in a storm, struggling to find solid ground amidst turmoil. How can we create a nurturing environment where these new generations feel safe enough to share their innermost struggles? Could it be through small acts of kindness and compassion, or perhaps by setting aside time for honest conversations?
What if we begin with ourselves, by acknowledging our own fears and vulnerabilities?
When I look into the mirror, what do I see beyond my reflection? Am I willing to face those truths head-on, no matter how painful they may be?
The path forward is not easy. It demands courage and patience.
But isn't that the very essence of being a shinobi?
To overcome obstacles with grace and resilience, we must remember that healing is an ongoing journey, not a destination reached in one step. Each conversation, each moment of vulnerability shared, builds a stronger foundation for future generations. Let us pledge to listen without judgment, to support rather than isolate, and to grow together as a village.
It begins with acknowledging the past, embracing the present,
and shaping a more empathetic tomorrow.
In this way, we can ensure that Hidden Leaf remains not just a place of physical strength, but also one of emotional wellness. A sanctuary where hearts are as strong as our minds.
As we continue walking through this forest, may each step bring us closer to understanding ourselves and each other.
We have the power to change, little by little, day by day.
As we draw near to the end of our journey through the hidden depths of the Hidden Leaf Village, let's pause and consider the weight that carries within each shinobi. Imagine walking along a path lined with towering trees, their branches entwined above you. Each step echoes with the silence of years past, where battles were fought and wounds left behind. We've touched upon the silent walls built by those who bear the scars of unseen struggles. These walls are not just physical barriers, but emotional ones, keeping others at a distance to protect from further pain.
But what does this mean for the shinobi when they finally lay down their swords?
What happens to the bonds that were never fully forged due to the fear of vulnerability? It's easy to think about these things in isolation, as individual stories. But consider the collective impact of an entire village where such suppression is a silent norm. In Hidden Leaf, we see generations carrying forward this cycle, each heart holding its secrets tightly, believing it's for protection, but often at the cost of true connection and joy. As we leave behind the tales of chakra and combat, remember that within every shinobi lies a person longing to be seen and understood. The question remains, how do these walls begin to crumble? What steps could be taken in this hidden world to foster openness rather than secrecy? Perhaps it starts with one small conversation, one brave soul daring to share their silent truths. In closing, let us reflect to the quiet strength found not just in wielding power, but in sharing burdens. A ninja's true valor may lie not only in battles won, but in bridges built between hearts long divided by fear and silence. As we step away from this journey, carry with you a deeper empathy for those who fight their battles alone, hidden within themselves. And maybe, just maybe, find the courage to whisper your own truth into the world. And so we find ourselves at the close of this journey through the hidden depths of Hidden Leaf's warrior culture.
It's been a path marked by shadows and light, where courage meets its quieter counterpart, vulnerability. We've walked together through the silent storms that sometimes rage inside our hearts. But even in the darkest night, there is always the whisper of dawn breaking free from the horizon. So let us not lose hope. Let us take this knowledge, this understanding, and weave it into the fabric of how we live, love, and connect. It's time to rewrite the story, to give our warriors a new narrative, one where healing isn't weakness but strength, one where intimacy is seen as essential for growth, courage, and resilience.
We can change the script. Let us start by asking ourselves, what does true connection look like? What small steps can we take today to bridge the gaps within our hearts?
The path ahead may not be easy, but it's the only way forward.
For every warrior who carries the weight of silent battles, there is a community waiting to hold them up.
Let us be that support for one another. Encourage each other to speak the unspeakable, to feel the unfeeling, to open our hearts and allow love in. to let it transform us into the best versions of ourselves. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Together, we can break free from the chains of silence that bind. Let us create a legacy where healing is celebrated, where every warrior knows they have a place to come home to, heart open and whole.
So here's to the warriors who dare to be vulnerable, to those who hold their scars close but their hearts even closer. Here's to you, and all that we can become together.
Thank you for being part of this journey. Now let us move forward, hand in hand, into a future where love is not just something we fight for. It's the very fabric of our existence. Let's write it together.